Hey guys, welcome back. This is Foolish Phil talking about Michigan versus Michigan State. Didn't get a chance to do a video yesterday, so giving you my thoughts today. Monday, Michigan State went into Ann Arbor and won 77-70. And there's a few things to take out of this. I think Cassius Winston, 27 points, 8 assists, is no doubt now, to me, not that he wasn't before, but this cemented it. He is the Big Ten Player of the Year. He is just the catalyst for Michigan State. To make that even more apparent, I mean, he's avenged or whatever, rectified his poor performances against Michigan the last couple years, and especially against Xavier Simpson, who notably had shut him down defensively. That was not the way it was yesterday. He got to the line 14 times, I think it was, and he hit 13 of 14 free throws. Like I said, 27 points. When Michigan seemed to be just about to knock out Michigan State in the second half, up by 6. Iggy had just gotten the dunk. Winston just came down and drove, got fouled, and that kind of just calmed the crowd down a little bit. He had his free throws, and that too was a big significant part there. Not only was Winston a big part of this game, but Michigan State's defense. I was worried about this a little bit. Michigan has had these second half slumps where the offense has just died, gone away. They did against Minnesota, against Penn State they had kind of slumped in the first half. Michigan just doesn't seem to be fluid as well as we want them on offense. So when that was happening, you had Winston taking over. Michigan ended up scoring, I think, 9 points in the next 15 minutes. Michigan State just kind of shut them down. Michigan had a little flurry at the end when the game was 10 points and, Michigan State was just getting free throws in exchange. But that gap there, 15 minutes where Michigan State's defense just was stifling Michigan. And got to give credit to that. Also, big props. I was surprised the way Michigan State players stepped up. McQuaid, he did a really good job. A couple others, their starters, did outstanding. Got into double figures offensively. Really filled in the gaps, hit those clutch shots when they really needed to. Looking at Michigan, I really think they blew their chance here with Ward out. I don't know why they didn't go to Teskey more. Teskey was 3 of 5 shooting. He ended up with 10 points, including free throws. Every time they would do a screen and switch, where all of a sudden the smaller guys on Teskey, instead of passing him the ball and letting him work from the post, they ended up having Simpson or Matthews or whoever it was, Poole, try to drive, and it just was not working. So I don't know why they did not go into Teskey to take advantage of the switch, and for another thing, the height advantage. Because Michigan State doesn't really have much height outside of Ward, and Ward obviously wasn't playing. Now, besides that, I think you also have to look at another factor here, that John Beilein seemed to have really got outcoached. And for whatever it's worth, Michigan State, Izzo, had their team ready to go right from the get-go. Michigan had no chance to get up early, kind of, crush the spirits of the Spartans. It didn't happen. Michigan State just stuck right there and did a really good job. Michigan couldn't seem to feed, they couldn't explode with that offense, at home, over a capacity crowd, 30-year anniversary of the 1989 championship. Just, it didn't happen. Now, part of it's on the players, don't get me wrong, but part is the coach has to help with that. Another thing that really has been bugging me this season is John Beilein's plays out of timeouts have been really executed poorly. Either the players aren't executing it, or the plays are junk. At the end of the first half, Michigan had about 16 seconds to go, and they dribble down, and they just get some Xavier Simpson. All he has to do is kind of just drive to the lane and hope some weird underhand layup thing goes in, and I think it got blocked, or it was a terrible looking shot either way. When you have 16 seconds, why can't you come up with some plays to get an open shot? And he's had that a couple times this year, I wish I could remember what specific game, but we have not been doing great plays out of timeouts, even when we're having a timeout specifically to set up a play. Another issue I have with Beilein yesterday, Charles Matthews, he was 1 for 8 with 4 points, 2 free throws, so he had 1 for 8, 1 field goal. I think it was 1 assist and 0 rebounds. So he was totally affected. If you saw the first half of the game there, he tweaked his ankle. It was really early in the game, and he tweaked it. well, I don't understand why we kept playing Matthews. He was ineffective. Maybe he was doing an okay job defense, but I don't know offhand. So that's more on the coaches, I guess. But why don't you put in Livers? Livers, our best player off the bench, really, our only player off the bench. He was 2 for 3 in 18 minutes of game action. Where I think Matthews was 1 for 8 in 28 minutes of game action. It's like, an injured Matthews, who's ineffective, versus our probably best shooter, statistically, in three-pointers, at least, I don't understand why we didn't put Livers in instead of Matthews. I think that was a blunder by Beeline. He should have put Livers in, especially when Matthews was being so ineffective. The big scheme of things. I think this basically cements the fact that Michigan is out of the Big Ten race. They have too tough of a schedule. I think it's Nebraska this week, then at Maryland and at Michigan State. Another thing, I think it doesn't guarantee Michigan State much, because I still think Purdue is going to sneak in there and get the Big Ten title, because their rest of the season's a cupcake. So I would not be surprised if Purdue, of all teams, wins the Big Ten. One little fact I saw on MGO blog, the last time Michigan and Michigan State swapped road victories in the series was 1992. To be fair, in recent years they've only been playing one game a season, so obviously you can't do it those years and such. But it'll be interesting to see if Michigan can rebound a little bit and come out a little bit with a better strategy. Michigan State deserved the win. They played great. It was still a really good basketball game. I just, as a Michigan fan, I'm like, oh, we missed layups. We missed, this stupid turnovers. Like, oh, it's like the things that could have been. Part of that's on Michigan. Jordan Poole's shot selection can be great to terrible. Missed layups, taking three-pointers from way too deep, all those things. But credit to Michigan State. But Michigan can play better. It was still a great game. I'm looking forward to the rematch in East Lansing. See if Michigan can come back and maybe return the favor. But Michigan has really, I don't know if there's anything they can do, but with Matthews injured, it really kind of showed again how narrow our bench is. We have Livers, and that's about it. You saw Eli Brooks come in and take a couple shots. I don't even know if they hit the rim. And the first three-pointer I saw him shoot was just off the backboard, terribly overshot. It's like, oh, that's the biggest problem Michigan has, is no bench. You can say the same thing for Michigan State with Ward and Langford out injured. But you know what? They're starters, and they had a bench presence. So, the big difference is Winston. He had 27 points. They won by 7, 27 points. He was excellent. Simpson could not shut him down. So the credit to this game really goes to Winston. Even on the offensive glass, Michigan out-rebounded in the offensive glass against Michigan State, which is very hard to do. Michigan doesn't rebound terribly great, and they out-rebounded them offensively. I'm not going to be one of those fans that says, the sky is falling. I know Michigan has issues. I don't think they're a final championship team. They just don't have enough depth this year. Personally, I was hoping they would, be able to squeak out a Big Ten title, something to put up in the rafters. I don't think that's happening. You never know if they get hot shooting in the Big Ten tournament, but hopefully they can maybe get a first-round bye. That'd be nice, so they don't have to play so many games there, especially with their lack of depth. Hey, sorry to wander on there a little bit off tangent, but that's all right. I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you think. What was the key for the Michigan State victory? Was this more of a Michigan State victory? Was it more of a Michigan letting it slip away? Just wonder what you guys think. I think it was a great game. As a fan, of course, as Michigan, it was terrible to watch. But overall, as a game itself, it was great. Back and forth basketball. Hey, appreciate the view. And I'll catch you the next time. As always, go Blue!